Hi, it's Chris Watkin here, and I'm joined by Elaine Penhaul, who is the queen of home staging, and she runs her firm called Lemon and Lime Interiors, and she helps estate agents help them sell their houses for better prices and make them look awesome. Elaine, today I would like to ask you this question. How can estate agents help sell properties where they have problems like train lines at the back of their gardens or busy roads and things like that? Talk to me.
Okay, and yes, it's a common problem, isn't it? And in particular, an example that we might use today, Chris, is one where a new developer, had bought a site right next to a main train line. And outside this piece of land, after he'd done the development, then there was constantly a queue of traffic waiting for the level crossing, and then trains were going past at the rate of several an hour. And he had built some nice properties, 3 beds and 4 beds, and a couple of nice bungalows on this site, and really needed help to get the sales on them. We worked with him from quite an early stage on the property, and went in and fully furnished. And of course, by the time something is fully furnished, with the target buyer in mind, so not just a kind of, but really thinking through who's likely to buy this property in this spot, in this price bracket. And he actually sold the first of the plots 2 weeks before his launch date, because the people walked in and and fell in love with it. And so what we do really does just help somebody see past the drawbacks on a site.
I mean, let's say, this property here was next to a main train line. You can't change that, can you?
No.
So what do you almost have to do? Do you almost have to make the other even so awesome that it's not so much of an issue?
Yeah. So that people think, well, actually, as long as the estate agent has pitched the valuation right for that particular site,
to allow for
that, then somebody, in this instance, for example, somebody was getting far more floor space and a much nicer property because of the train line. And what we then had to do was to create that emotional connection, if you like, that real kind of...
The house, not the home.
Yes.
I mean, the home, not the house.
Yeah, the home, not the house, exactly.
So come on then, let's have a look at what did you do
So
then?
This one, when we first went on site...
That's a lovely yellow...
kind of, that was the digger outside. Yep.
That's not bad, is it?
So lovely houses again, very close by. So it really
Dark
wasn't
inside.
look,
it's a nice with the glass table there.
Yeah. Lots of seating, quite a lot of space upstairs.
Very nice step ladder.
Yes, very nice step ladder.
Okay. Estate agents really put photos like that in, do they?
I think one of the problems is when a developer is putting a lot of pressure on an estate agent to get the property marketed from a very early stage of the development.
Yes.
Then sometimes there are interesting photographs that creep onto listings.
Okay. So let's keep going with the photographs.
So we've just got 1 bedroom on this one. That's
so let's just look at the before one. So that's nice step ladder, like you said.
Yeah, close property. Okay. And then the train line runs down this side of the house.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Very good.
I do like my trains, but I'm not a train spotter. And that is the bedroom as well.
And then suddenly somebody walks in and goes, wow, actually, I can see how this property will work for me. And that's the really important bit, getting it targeted.
Getting people to buy with their emotions, not the logic. Oh, well, I must admit, my parents have just bought a property next to the train line, and it was just, it's what they wanted. Yeah. And if they want to live next to a train line, who am I? Because at least I can go train spotting, can't I?
All kinds of problems with properties, aren't there, to overcome? As you mentioned earlier, busy roads, for example. Yes. Sometimes if a property's in an up-and-coming area, then the houses around it, not all of them have yet been done up.
No,
They haven't all
or
been,
been built,
lifted
but, you know.
or been built, indeed.
So these are all instances where probably a home staging could come in and help.
And they're exactly creating that
Okay.
falling in love with the lifestyle, the emotional connection.
Okay. I mean, is all it is a few bedspreads and a few twigs with fairy lights. That's what it is, isn't it?
I wish. That would make my life much easier.
So it's not throws and twigs and fairy lights. No.
We have 10,000 square foot of warehousing where we have furniture of the suitable sizes and value for the type of properties that we stage. We work in the premium end of the market. So,
but if someone wanted to buy it with all the furniture in, would you sell it to them?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
But if not, so you have you have some little people come in the van, drop the stuff off, stage it up, look the part. Do you keep them in whilst the viewings are taking place?
So yes, generally we keep the furniture in. We strongly discourage agents or developers from taking furniture out ahead of the exchange of the property, simply because if anything happens to the sale and it falls through and they're then remarketing with it empty, also, people. So we do get asked on a fairly regular basis, could you just do the staging for the photos? Well, to be perfectly honest, Chris, it takes us as long to do a staging for a photo shoot as it does to then get it there and leave it for the next
well, it's like seeing a pretty
months.
picture, but then going and actually then being disappointed.
And that's almost worse. I think it's almost worse. And similarly, virtual staging absolutely has its place where beautiful photographs are created, CGI photographs are created. You will
And
have
there's some
seen
good
them.
stuff, yeah.
Really, really good stuff. And for me, I think that the best place for that kind of staging is when something is still not fully built, it hasn't reached practical completion. And once it's complete, then real staging takes over because, again, people will see beautiful photos, really imagine the lifestyle, and then they walk into a property and all empty properties. It's really hard to imagine an empty property, to imagine yourself in an empty property.
Good stuff. Elaine, you've been an absolute star. In the next video, I'd like to talk about how home staging can get people more listings, agents more listings.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Pleasure.